podcast by Gordon Firemark and Tamara Bennett from entertainmentlawupdate.com was a very interesting one that I took a lot of advice from. They talked about several different topics throughout the entire podcast, but the three topics that I focused on were actors keeping their ages confidential on entertainment job websites. It's harder to register a copyright now, and the BMI ASCAP dynamic. These three topics created an interesting dynamic for me and my company, so let's go ahead and explore them. The topic of actors soon keeping their ages confidential is interesting because, as Gordon said, your birth certificate is public knowledge. If your birth certificate is public knowledge, then your age will be found out eventually, so what's the problem? There was an actress that actually sued the website IMDb for divulging her actual age, but in the end, she lost. The court sided with IMDb and cited First Amendment rights. Now, in California, they've passed a law that requires sites that are paid to take down age information if the customer or subscriber requests it to be taken down. You know, it was applauded by the Screen Actors Guild and other acting communities. And for my business, I believe that this is a great idea as well. The reason being is that ageism is real in Hollywood. And I wouldn't want a client of mine to be typecasted that I believe could handle the part to audition without thinking that they would be discriminated against because of their age. Another topic that caught my attention was when they talked about, is it harder to register a copyright now? I'm noticing that copyright is becoming a really important topic in my line of business. And as Tamara Bennett gave the example of her client wanting to copyright her logo, the logo was already trademarked, but she wanted to register it as a copyright as well. Tamara advised her client that the logo seemed to be too basic and didn't have enough originality to be considered. Instead, her client decided to keep it like it is, and as a result, the copyright was rejected. I learned that with my company, the logo or anything else that I copyright needs to have a creative difference than any other work out there. It needs to be completely unique to my company. You know, this helps me when it comes to creating a logo that has enough originality to be registered not only as a trademark, but as a copyright as well. So from this podcast, I also see that both of these are actually quite necessary. And the last topic that caught my attention is the discussion on BMI, ASCAP, and the 100% licensing. The Department of Justice made a ruling that BMI and ASCAP would need to have 100% licensing, and the two groups joined forces to fight this ruling. Well, a judge has overturned the verdict. This helps because when you have two writers and one may be with ASCAP while the other is with BMI, there is a slight issue. Now that they don't have to have the 100% licensing with one company, it relieves a lot of stress off not only the companies, but the writers and the producers and publishers as well. You know, it's effective for my company because not everyone that you collaborate with will be with the same company. We all have a choice between ASCAP and BMI. There needs to be some respect for that decision that's made by each individual. There doesn't need to be any consequences for working with or collaborating with someone who's not affiliated with the same publishing as you. So this has been my take on the podcast from Gordon Firemark and Tamara Bennett. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.